Governor Gavin Newsom has made his pick to replace U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein. Her name is LaFonza Butler. Who? Coming up, I'll tell you why this is an insider corrupt deal and why California voters should be furious. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and Governor Gavin Newsom has made his choice to replace Dianne Feinstein now that she has passed away and has vacated her seat for the U.S. Senate. The governor has the unilateral authority to appoint anyone he wants to this position. And normally you would expect that a governor is going to do a serious job of making an appointment, particularly in the most populous state, where Democrats basically get a free pass in the U.S. Senate race. Let's be blunt about this and clear about this. Whoever he appoints could very well be in the Senate for 30 years plus, because these seats don't come available very often. And so his decision needs to be well thought out. It needs to be deliberate. It needs to really show that he is listening to voters. And what voters have said in this whole entire process is that they want to be the ones to decide who gets to be their leaders, not some anointing process behind closed doors of politically connected insiders. But that's exactly what Governor Newsom's choice represents, as he appoints a true insider's insider, LaFonza Butler, to fill Dianne Feinstein's U.S. Senate seat. So you might say, LaFonza who? That's where the vast majority of voters in California are today. They're wondering, who in the hell is this person? So there's a couple reasons why Newsom really screwed up this appointment, intentionally so, and we're going to cover those. First, he appoints someone who has no public profile, no public support base. This woman is an insider. She's a political consultant. She's a political activist. When you take a look at her resume, she has been a campaign manager for Kamala Harris. She's been a union boss, the SEIU union. And now she runs a national Democrat political organization, Emily's List, which basically raises money for female candidates on the Democrat side. She's a campaign manager. This is not the first time Gavin Newsom has selected a campaign manager for an important role. When he selected Alex Padilla to replace Kamala Harris back in 2021, Alex Padilla is Gavin Newsom's best friend. He was a campaign manager, a campaign consultant, a campaign strategist. So it seems as though Gavin Newsom thinks that the only people that should represent you, a California voter, in the U.S. Senate is a hired campaign staffer. That's basically now two choices that he's made, where he's selected staffers versus people who actually have shown that they have any sort of public support. I mean, again, Newsom could have selected a mayor, a state senator, a state assembly member, a U.S. congressional representative, but he chose not to. He chose someone who's a complete unknown, a staffer, who has never actually demonstrated that she's been able to develop public support in a public constituency. Really offensive. Secondly, he appoints someone who is pretty radical. I mean, she is a labor boss, a labor union boss. She's the one that's been out there constantly trying to organize, force people into unions, take their money out of their paychecks without their permission, give them to politicians. You can't get more corrupt than a labor union boss in California politics because of the money that they are able to control and dedicate to various causes. I think the reason why he chose someone who is so extremist and so influential with the political money is because he just vetoed a bill, Senate Bill 799, which would have given unions unemployment benefits while they're striking. And so this is a convenient way for him to say, oh, well, I didn't sign that bill because I'm running for president and trying to look moderate, but I did appoint a union boss to the U.S. Senate. Again, it's not about qualifications. It's about a political quid pro quo, covering his rear end on a veto that he issued to try to make good with the labor union movement. Third, she's not even a California voter. She's not even a California resident. She's registered to vote in Maryland. She lives in Maryland. And in fact, she's trying to cover that up. Take a look at Fox News. Gavin Newsom's pick to replace Feinstein appears to scrub online evidence of living in Maryland. When she gave recent campaign contributions, she listed her legal address for the contribution as Maryland. So Maryland, what, gets 3 senators and we get 1 in California? Now, it's not illegal for her to re-register in the state of California, but it stinks. This morning, I was looking at the social media accounts, videos of LaFonza Butler, and clearly the Democrats did a quick scrub of anything terribly controversial. Oh, sure, you're going to find a number of videos of her talking about abortion on demand, late-term abortion. She doesn't call it that, but she supported Proposition 1 in California, which removes all restrictions, even the 23-week restriction on abortion. She's an abortion extremist. There's no doubt about it. She's not just pro-choice. She is for abortion on demand. That's what Prop 1 was, and she supported it. She's also been someone who's supported the policies that have given us hyperinflation, the minimum wage hikes consistently across the board. She supports PAGA, the Private Attorney General's Act, where small businesses are being shaken down in California. She supports AB 5, which has banned independent contractors from being able to work in the state of California. The gig economy has been crushed under her policies. She's backed every known tax increase, the gas tax, the repeal of Prop 13. She is an extremist on the issues. No doubt about it. And so you've got someone who's not even a Californian, extreme on the issues, who's a political staffer. The final failure that Newsom has with this appointment involves the voice of the voters. Shouldn't the voters have been able to weigh in and decide who gets to be the U.S. Senator for California? Newsom could have done that. He could have given voters an opportunity to be the deciders as to who their senator is by simply saying, I'm going to appoint someone who will commit upfront and publicly not to run. Well, LaFonza Butler has not made that commitment. In fact, sources told Politico that no commitment was asked for and no commitment was given regarding her not running for the U.S. Senate. So now you have a very high probability that she will announce that she's running for the U.S. Senate. Absolutely negligent, silencing the voice of the voters. Because as an incumbent U.S. Senator, she will enjoy all the trappings of the office and get an unfair advantage over her competitors. And those competitors are out there. Adam Schiff, Katie Porter, Barbara Lee, members of Congress who've been working hard for many months trying to win support on the Democrat side. If I were a Democrat voter in California, I'd be damn pissed. But most of those voters, they won't realize that their voice, that their ability to choose was completely shut out. I guarantee you that Adam Schiff and Katie Porter and Barbara Lee, if Senator Butler announced she's running for election, not just to serve as an appointed senator, but actually serve by running in the primary in March, I guarantee you the 3 of them will likely drop out. I know. No choice. Gavin Newsom got to anoint not 1, but 2 U.S. senators, and that's just appalling. He could have gotten that commitment that whoever he appoints would not run, but he failed to do that. Again, I would be surprised if she announced that she's not running. I mean, come on, you're now the incumbent. You've got the media and profile that will now be coming with that office, the staffing that comes with the office, the campaign contributions, because you're voting on matters that the special interests want special consideration for. So they'll give you contributions. There's no doubt in my mind that the chance is pretty high that she wants to run. And so that means that you'll have a U.S. senator, 2 U.S. senators actually, Alex Padilla and LaFonza Butler, that will, in essence, have a U.S. Senate seat for 30 years if they want it. And they were not selected by the voters. They were handpicked in a back room by Gavin Newsom, who, by the way, the pattern is the same for him. He's always been anointed. He's never had to earn his positions. A variety of billionaires have always backed him and given the thumbs up and paved the way. His Aunt Nancy Pelosi has been able to manipulate things for the benefit of her nephew. This is an insider's game. It's a scam. And I would hope that voters would see it as such. Again, I'm not holding out hope that a Republican would have been appointed, or a Republican will be very competitive in the 2024 senatorial election in California. I'm a realist. But it's damn offensive what Gavin Newsom has done. And he'll get a pass by the liberal media. Take a look at Politico. Again, kissing up to Governor Gavin Newsom. Newsom picks LaFonza Butler as Feinstein replacement. He goes on to say that she, well, let me go down here. The statement, oh, here it is. It's actually in Politico's morning report. I've got to go to the morning report to show it. Just a minute, because I really want to mock these Politico reporters. Here it is. Here is the playbook for Politico this morning, and it says, less than 72 hours after the news of Senator Dianne Feinstein's death broke, California is posed to have a new trailblazing U.S. senator. Trailblazing. We've had a black senator. We've had a female senator before. We've had a gay senator before. Oh, but she's the trifecta. She's all three of these things rolled into one. You've never had a black woman gay senator. How about them apples? Oh, the identity politics is just absurd. How about we have a qualified senator? How about we have a senator who has public support? How about we have a senator who's selected by the voters, not appointed or anointed by a governor? Oh, no, can't have that. No, she's trailblazing. There's nothing trailblazing about that. If she had earned it with her own right, you could say, all right, well, she's got all three of those things combined together. But no, this is anointing by appointment. Look at this. Butler, who's a lesbian, will make history. Will make history. Look at all the liberals that always talk about making history as the first out LGBTQ person of color to serve in the U.S. Senate. She's also the first LGBT person to represent California in the Senate. Did we mention she's left-handed? Well, at least that would get to some level of ability. Look, this is absurd. And of course, Politico with this morning report is just kissing up and narrative driving as though somehow this is a good thing, when it's not. The voters were cheated. Look, at Reform California, we're putting up the fight to try to rebalance the state of California politics so that the anointing and the corruption doesn't happen going forward. The only way to do that is you need to get involved in the fight. We're doing that by flipping seats and blocking tax increases and trying to put reform-minded candidates and measures on the ballot in 2024. Join us by going to the website reformcalifornia.org. That's reformcalifornia.org. Chip in a contribution. Also, share and like this video so that we can spread the word and we can break through the censorship of the liberal media who don't want you to hear arguments like this as to why this U.S. Senate appointment and anointment is not a good thing for voters of our state. Until next time, it's Carl DeMaio with Reform California. Thanks for watching. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.